But since we didn't record it, I'll share this again. So we had the post
Oh,
again from Mr. Rogers Guillotine Emporium on Instagram. This is new. Associated Press whitewashes neo-Nazi love story in Ukraine. They say from the AP, a Ukrainian medic fell in love with a soldier on the front. They died together in a Russian attack. And here she is with her Nazi insignia on her shirt, taking a
what
selfie
a
with Zelensky
tragedy.
near Bakhmut in August 2023. You hate to see it, folks.
What a tragedy. Oh man, if only they could. If only there could be more like these. More sad tragedies where
What's
neo Nazis end up getting bombed.
what's that symbol on her chest? Is that like the socially acceptable SS symbol or something?
Hey everyone, just wanted to add this in post. This symbol is from the 3rd Assault Brigade, which is a merger of the Azov Battalion, a famous neo-Nazi armed group, part of the official Ukrainian military. The 3 lines are very similar to the Wolf's Angel, which is a Germanic heraldic symbol used on the Azov Battalion's original logo. It's just been abstracted into 3 broad strokes, as you can see here. So yes, it is in fact a more socially acceptable SS symbol, because the Wolf's Angel was used prominently by the Wehrmacht and SS units under Nazi Germany. Anyways, back to the video.
Yeah, they can't do swastikas, so they do other symbols. Although I guess in Ukraine you could just do swastikas.
Yeah.
It's at that point it's socially acceptable over there.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's like a cool symbol in Hindu culture or something. Like they're still making those excuses from like 2008 over here.
It's not technically at the it's at a angle here, and it's not at the 90-degree angle there. So therefore, it's not a Nazi thing. And it's like, no, that's still a Nazi thing at this point. You can't un-Nazify a symbol.
Ukrainian Nazis are always funny to me because it's like I don't think Hitler would have liked you, to be honest. I think he would have.
You would have conquered them.
Yeah, he thought you were subhuman. Like I don't like you. It's kind of cocked to be like a Slav and a Nazi because
I
you're.
was gonna say, didn't he have bad opinions about Slavic people? Like,
Yeah, he thought He wanted to exterminate Slavic people. Right, that was part of the Holocaust. As he killed Slavic people, and that's Ukrainians are Slavs. So you're just a cock for Hitler, basically.
Pretty much. Everyone to the east of Germany was just like, you're not part of the race. You're not part of the master race,
see, liberals, just join us tankies because you're over here talking to all the minorities, like the Latino people or black people in your community here in America, calling them Nazis, saying that they voted for Trump when they probably didn't even do that. It's just the people stayed home. And here we have actual people who are cucking themselves for Nazis in real time. Like this day and age, you don't have to like go and search for people around. You don't have to be paranoid. You don't have to wear a blue bracelet or do some kind of stupid signal to show that you didn't vote, any kind of dumb shit you're doing. Here's some real Nazis you can oppose right now. Just gotta dump your Nazi boyfriends in Ukraine.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, but Mike, these are the good Nazis because they don't like Putla, so they're the good ones. Yeah, that's what you're forgetting.
They're anti-communist, so obviously they're the good guys.
Yeah, they're the good guys.
I was gonna ask Jared if you have any other stuff from like your wild DMs that you send me that you want to share here, because you can like
What
share
did
your
I
screen easily too. I don't know. You just always send me like the best videos, like just random shit.
Nah, I don't know. I don't have much. I've been keeping up to date with what's going on with Ethan Klein, moron. What's his name? Yeah, he's now trying to like dox Bad Empanada, which is pretty funny.
Mhm.
And he's made like false allegations that he's a sex criminal as well. And Bad Empanada said he's going to sue him. So please, that's going to be so funny if he does. They're just verifiably false allegations just based on tweets that you can trace back, and they're not accounts that Bad Empanada knows. So it's just a slam dunk defamation case. So I really, really hope that Bad Empanada just takes Ethan Klein to court and just fucking rinses him, just takes so much of his fucking money.
It would be so fucking funny. It would be amazing. Like,
I have not
Yeah.
had fun. Like, what is he accusing me of doing? Of having done, I guess.
Oh, there's some completely fake tweet posted by an account that wasn't him that said some shit about some pedo shit or something. I don't remember specifically what he said, but yeah, he's basically accusing him of being a pedophile.
I think
based on
what
that.
it was. I think what it was is like it was him talking about like, where are the pictures of the dead babies in Palestine? Like, I wanted to jerk off or something like that. It was something really insane like that, but it was from an account that didn't have the same handle. It was like an imposter account of Bad Empanada's, like that wasn't him, And I was actually watching a little bit of his live stream earlier, and It was a riot.
Who bad
Please,
empanada?
please. I
Yeah.
pray to God, please, bad empanada, please take this cunt to the cleaners. Just fucking rinse him. Take his fucking money, dude. It's the least this cunt deserves, honestly. Zionists are so disgusting. Like, anyone
They're-
who's still a Zionist at this point, you're just disgusting. You're a fucking Nazi. There's no difference between you and a Nazi. You're exactly the same. You are exactly the fucking same. And the having your money taken off you that you didn't deserve to get in the first place is the least you deserve. That's
I mean,
my
the sheer
stance.
idea of like a guy who's a Zionist going after someone with the pedophilia angle. It's like, are you aware of Israel? Do you know what goes on there? Like, do you know what they have? Like, what kind of haven it is for pedophiles? It's wild. Like, there's mainstream articles about this. It's not even like
Yeah.
a leftist conspiracy. It's not even like the fucking fascists. Obviously, they love to do their pedos. Like, all Jews are pedos. Everyone we don't like is a pedo. But like, there really are like a fucking lot of pedos among the people
Yeah.
that we don't like the rich and powerful, the Zionists, the Hitlerites.
It's
Yeah,
a
there's
safe haven for Americans.
Yeah, pretty much all coming from Zionists. It's like every accusation is a confession with those guys.
It's a common one.
Yeah, especially with how they with all the accusations that they throw at Palestinians themselves, like all of them being the terrorists or doing all of the war crimes to babies and their prisoners and whatnot. It's like, no, the Zionist IDF are actually doing that. I have a couple of videos on my channel going over some of that stuff. One of them in particular going over like the Gaza healthcare letters and like all the doctors that witnessed the most insane atrocities walking through their door into their temporary like clinic hospital that didn't get bombed out just in time for them to see little kids getting their heads like blown off and stuff like that. It's so horrible.
I mean, this past week, like I remember when it was news the first time a couple months ago when it first came out, but now it's getting revisited, and it was the one doctor who was taken prisoner by the IDF. They literally raped this man to death. They stuck so many different things up this man, including a fire extinguisher that they released into him, after which he never spoke again. He was like physically, just harmed to that point by that. And then died, I think, not too long after that of other injuries. They beat people to death. They raped them to death. Like, and this was a doctor who, there are pictures of him before he was taken prisoner by them, and he is working 24 hours a day in whatever conditions he can work in, like you're describing, in these ramshackle tents, up until the bitter end. And it's like, I can't even fathom that kind of existence that they're putting on people. And it's like, this is what we are paying for. And again, we are the only people who are talking about this in any kind of terms that is like commensurate with what is going on. It's like the anti-genocide activists and the people who absolutely understand why so many people sat this election out, seeing what was at stake here, and who are not then going to blame it on, who realize the liberals, anyone who participated in this election is a diehard racist. Like, and for them to start calling others racist after the fact is just the biggest glaring irony. It's so mind blowing.
It's a confession. It honestly is.
I was just thinking that I was just thinking about that post I saw recently about how liberals were freaking out once Trump got elected, and then someone did like a Katniss Everdeen cosplay.
Oh god, yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what living in America is like. It's like, shut up. Shut
Like,
the fuck
no,
up. Like,
Those books, I swear to God, like the YA fiction that like has like faux class consciousness, it's just it makes me want to bang my head against a wall.
yeah.
I gotta say, it gives me a little hope that went so viral. Hold on to what you're gonna say, Jared, because like I just want to make this quick. Like Hermes the Cynic,
Yeah.
I remember the guy's handle who responded to that because he so quickly just eviscerated this privileged white woman in the suburbs who bought this $500 costume and pretended to be a victim on TikTok in the most just like saccharine, pick me way. And he just got her in like 30 seconds. And that's like the definition of a viral video. Like I had never seen that guy's channel before, but like that was on every page I know. Like everyone I follow reposted that. So it's like that actually went viral. You'd love to see that. What would you have, Jared? Sorry.
I forget.
I'm sorry, man. I always do that to people. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't even want to debunk things anymore. I guess that's what I was going to say. Is like when I see someone do something that like blatantly stupid, like dress up as Katniss Everdeen and being like, this is what living in America is like while there's a fucking genocide going on. It's like, actually, no, this is not what living in America is like. You can buy your $500 costume, so I think you're fine. I don't even want to. I don't want to argue or debunk liberals anymore. I just want to tell them to shut up. Every time they speak, I'm just like, they're not even. It's like at this point, it's like arguing with Nazis. When you always say you don't debate fascists.
Yes.
You just tell them you make fun of them,
Mm-hmm.
or do worse to them, right? But like at this point, I've got the same attitude towards liberals, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
What's
real.
what's the phrase like? We don't negotiate with terrorists. You
Mm.
know. Yeah, and just
That's
throw that shit back at them.
that's a good point, Jared. Like the tactic I think is to make fun of them because they really hate it. And I found that like the recent few liberals that now just don't talk to me because they could not deal with the fact that I was like pointing out the obvious state of things. Like I was literally just pointing out the obvious status quo, and their cognitive dissonance requires that they disconnect from people who do that. So without knowing it, I was resorting to making fun of them too because I was just doing my normal sarcastic, like really ironic rebuttals to everything they were saying, which is like again usually repeat what they say, but just like what they're actually proposing, which is like saying, well, Biden's working as hard as he possibly can to stop this. It's like, yeah, the guy who's continually breaking the law to ship them weapons every 16 minutes. Sure, I believe that. Um, it's funny if you just like repeat the reality that they actually believe back to them without the suspension of disbelief that it requires. Like if you just don't see it through the childish comic book movie lens that they see everything through, um, they get really mad. And it is that. It's the same way as responding to fascists because now I can't even talk to so many other leftists who are unwilling to see liberals and just the majority of Americans as class enemies of the global majority, who don't see them as like the fascists that they are and who are still too sympathetic out of their own American nationalism. And I'm talking to these people and I'm like finding that the dynamic is the same as like when you first found leftism as opposed to like leaving the liberal sphere of things, and it like infected you and you're like, wow, this is like all I want to talk about. And liberals find you really obnoxious because it holds up a mirror to their hypocrisy, and they're like, I need you to shut up. I need you to shut up right now. I need you to go away. You're really pissing me off. You're so annoying. I don't have any actual rebuttals, but I'm going to personally attack you because this shit really sucks for me right now. Like I'm so angry. Like that's the
I'm gonna
response
put
I'm getting from most of the left right now when I'm saying that Americans are fucking Nazis and we need to stop trying to convert these stupid fascists anymore. Like
I'm gonna put my nutsack on your drum set. It's like
Because I'm going to put my nutsack on your drum set.
on what you said about like realizing my leftist attitude and realizing that liberals like really aren't the ally of like international proletariat. When I first kind of came to the concept of like super exploitation and labor aristocracy and stuff like that, there's a book called Divided World, Divided Class, I think, by Zach Cope, and it really touches on that and goes really deep in like some pretty high level theory, Marxist theory, on why American liberals are basically class collaborators with most international bourgeoisie and the national bourgeoisie of the United States.
Mm.
And you're better off joining a leftist organization even in another country that's at like one of the weaker links in the chain of imperialism, rather than trying to get anything going in the United States because it's such a shit show here.
I like what really interesting thing I read recently about how the real sort of motivating factor for any kind of revolution or anything like that has always come from the third world. It's always come from the peasantry. It has not come from labor aristocrats. It just hasn't. And even Marx predicted that this is something Marx was actually wrong about, but Marx thought it would come from labor aristocrats in places like Germany and Britain. Like that was Marx's original thing, is he thought Britain and Germany would be the first places to have revolutions, and he was wrong. What it turned out is it's just been peasant-based societies like Russia and China, and Vietnam and Cuba and places like that. That's where it always happens. So
yeah, the increasing like severity of the conditions pushes the society to that point. Like I think I've said before in a video, like revolutions come from conditions more so than anything else. And it takes like somebody, like a group of people, like a vanguard party, to like recognize that and say, okay, all right, can we like maybe steer this a little bit? but it has to be like the people realizing it together.
Unless it's a bourgeois revolution, because there have been other revolutions, and look at the societies
True.
they produce. Because of course people are like, well, what about the American Revolution? It's like, yeah, well, a bunch of fucking kind of like well-off farmers who were duped themselves by a bunch of slave owners who are like wealthy, like huge landowners who don't want to pay taxes on that land and all those slaves and that wealth, and are also like threatened by the prospect of slavery being outlawed because England is starting to do it. When they convince a bunch of farmers to go fight for them, just like the U.S. convinces every other class of people to go fight for their imperialism. That's not the revolution that we would support as Marxists. It's not a Marxist revolution. They certainly were not doing some fucking socialism then. So it's like wild that people would even compare the two. But like, yeah, it really does come down to the class position. Like, the people here in the U.S. are never going to be convinced to do it. And it's funny. Like, I'm trying to remember that quote that Marx had. Like, because I thought it was him that said something like, "Further study has now convinced me the English working class will never achieve anything." And it's like, I thought that like toward the end of his life, he was starting to realize the labor aristocracy was never going to lead to some kind of revolution, like the way we're all watching it happen right now.
I can't remember. It might have been Engels potentially, but I don't quote me on that. Just because I'm still, I consider myself a lifelong learner. I'm always trying to read more and understand more, because like I could say some shit and sound like a fucking idiot, but
I mean,
yeah.
The thing with Marxism is it's not a dogmatic. We're not a dogmatic ideology. Marx can actually be wrong about things. Lenin could be wrong about things, and they were wrong about things. It's an ever-evolving science, basically. That's the main difference between us and liberals, is we're not idealists, and we actually have an ever-evolving philosophy, whereas they're stuck in the 18th and 19th century.
Because I mean, you also have to point out like all the times that it did happen were, like you said, in Russia, China, Vietnam, DPRK. A lot of global South countries in Africa and South America, Central America. These are the people who are pushed to the absolute brink of what humanity will tolerate, and that's when they start to have a fucking revolution. That's when they start to break the law. And it's wild to me because if anyone, we were all kids at some point, and we all were told to clean our room or do something by our parents, and you half-heartedly did it, and you kept like asking for updates, saying, "Well, did I do enough? Am I done?" And you knew you weren't fucking done. Like, you knew your room was still a fucking mess, but you kept at every point being like, "Ugh, am I finally done yet?" That's how fucking Western leftists do revolution. They start doing some mutual aid and protests. They're like, is it going to be a revolution yet? We're going to have some healthcare yet? We're going to, like, what they want is to tax the rich. They want more of the treats from the imperial super profits. They don't want a revolution or an overturning of the system. They just want to reform it at best. And that's what it comes down to.
I figured out what I was going to say. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people making comparisons between resistance in Gaza to the American Revolution, which is just insane to me. And it's this attempt to... Yeah, it's this attempt to get Americans to care about Gaza by saying, hey, listen, in 1871, just like in Gaza, as we know, the Palestinians are landowning slavers, and they want to take control of, they don't want to pay taxes to England or something. It's like, it's a completely different fucking thing. Like, it's not that. It is not a bunch of rich slavers who want to hold on to their territory that they've stolen from the native people. It's the native people who do not have slaves, by the way, who want to take control of land that belongs to them. Doing this like comparison to the American Revolution in a ineffective attempt to get Americans to care about anything beyond America's borders. Number one, it's just not going to work because Americans are fucking selfish. And number two is it's not a good comparison. It's just not. Make a comparison to the Holocaust or the Warsaw Uprising or something like that. That's a much better comparison.
The whiteness goes so deep. That's what wild, man.
What was the one that was someone shared in the Discord? It was like the Native Americans were the landowning bourgeoisie, and the and the colonists were the proletariat rising up and taking their land and seizing the means of production. I'm like, that is the most backwards racist shit I've ever heard in my life.
That's the American Communist Party attempting to get Americans to care about something.
Exactly.
That is like pretty close to what I thought was a Pat Sock take, and I think is like I meant to respond to it actually. I thought that is unironically like the Ayn Rand take on Native Americans, basically.
Say, Pat Socks, you did it. You did it, Pat Socks. Good job. Trump's in office.
Oh,
World Revolution now. Comrade Trump is going to do it. He's going to...
Chairman Trump.
Yeah, Chairman Trump is going to usher in the workers' revolution. Guys, you did such a good job.
Dude, just MAGA communists. To me, they're national. They're national Bolsheviks. You know, it's like another kind of variant of that. You know, where they're fascists, very much taking on the clothing and the demure the fucking
You are brain rotted, dude.
dude.
You are completely brain rotted. You accidentally said demure.
Oh, that was good.
me
It's like,
me and my
oh.
wife, we say it too often to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, bro, what's happening in Palestine is not on skibidi. I do not support it.
Trump is very skibbity toilet. I'll have you know.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was saying. Whatever.
看着却送到心中，就像无与伦比的代价。我爱你中国，谁爱的母亲？我为你流泪，谁也为你思考。我爱你中国，谁爱的母亲？我为你流泪，谁为你思考？希望你把我记住，你能能的孩子。